Being overprepared is impossible, and other matters. But please dial 123. Chapter 11. Returning home. They stayed to see the bridge completed and enjoyed a few celebrations or two before he and his team got the hell out of Wave. Just because they had been freed from a corrupt business and opened up the economy didn't mean everything would go all sunshine and rainbows immediately. They shook Tazuna's hands. All the students gave Tsunami a hug, and Naruto even ruffled the Nari's hair. They left the family the last of their rations and food supplies as a gift and then headed off for Konoha. Kakashi spent the journey back to the village posing questions about the situation to his students, letting them bounce ideas of what Wave's political climate would be in the next few years. They were all cheerful after their completed mission, proud of what they had done despite all the road bumps. Kakashi was proud as well, and liberally handed out hair ruffles as they hurried back to Konoha for the first time in months.
Naruto, what are you doing?
Sakura asked, slightly incredulous, as Naruto flopped face first into the dirt.
We're home!
He crowed, throwing his arms across the ground.
It feels so good to be back!
Get off the ground, moron. Sasuke rolled his eyes. As one, Sakura and Sasuke grabbed an arm and heaved him up. There was a fine layer of dirt and dust all up his front, but he didn't seem to care. Team 7 checking back in. Kakashi smiled at the gate guards who were watching with bewildered looks. Of course. Hokage has ordered you to his office for debrief, the one guard said, clearing his throat as Kakashi signed them in. Well, come on, kids, Kakashi said cheerfully. They followed him quick enough, and they all headed for the tower. While they waited for the Hokage to have time to see them, he managed to bully them into using the washrooms to wash their faces and hands and pat Naruto down of dirt.
Team 7,
the Hokage said kindly when they finally entered his office.
Finally back in Konoha. How long were you gone for again?
Kakashi was under no illusion the Hokage didn't know down to the minute, but he nudged Sakura forwards.
Since we left for training near Tea Country 3 months and 3.5 weeks,
Sakura said.
And since the beginning of your training trips into the woods?
Altogether from the first day dropped in the southern forests, about 5 months and 1 week and 4 days,
Sakura said instantly.
You have a quick mind,
the Hokage praised. Sakura bowed, flushed at the praise, and stepped back.
Well, you certainly took time training and on your first C rank. I hope the results are good.
The Hokage smiled.
Would you like to lodge any complaints about your sensei or the unusual training method?
Kakashi watched them carefully. This was a test, of course, to see if they knew better than to complain about Hokage-authorized training. Perhaps Sarutobi might take Naruto's words to heart, but the other two would get black marks on their record if they spoke up against Kakashi, who was assigned by the Hokage.
No, sir,
Sakura answered instantly and unhesitantly.
It has been a privilege.
Her words were honest, even though she could see it was a trick question. She wasn't just giving him what he wanted to hear, though. She was being truthful, and Kakashi rewarded her with a hair ruffle. She smiled shyly, sideways at him, and didn't slap his hand away.
Good, good. I expect mission reports to be submitted by tomorrow. Dismissed, Kadin.
Naruto gave him an enthusiastic wave while the other two bowed. Go relax, Kakashi further commanded. At 7, and meet me for a team meeting at Ichiraku's ramen stand. Naruto gave a noise of joy as the others lugged him out of the room.
I hope it was worth it, Kakashi,
Sarutobi said as the door shut.
The council threw a fit.
What did you tell them?
That they had pushed me to make you a teacher, and they could deal with it.
Kakashi chuckled loudly. It was well worth it, he said to the Hokage, eye earnest.
What level are they at then?
Mid-Chunin, at the very least. Kakashi smiled. They all have a terrible amount of potential. I just needed to iron out some attitude problems and get them working as a team. That's why I requested the isolation.
It's why I granted it.
Sarutobi nodded.
I eagerly await their display of skill. Add to them in the Chunin exams when the applications open up. Dismissed.
Of course, Hokage-sama. Kakashi bowed.
Oh, and Kakashi.
Yes?
Thank you.
The Hokage smiled. Kakashi wondered if the Hokage was thanking him for taking this new team seriously, for treating Naruto right, or for helping upset the council. Maybe all of it. It's a pleasure. Kakashi smiled. Then he ducked out the door. Kakashi had to get unpacked himself, and then he had 3 Genin to teach mission reports and debrief procedures to. Then he had to go fill in the paperwork to enter them in the Chunin exam. He already had the forms, of course, having been planning it before he had been ordered to, so it would be easy enough. Being a Jonin sensei was so much work, but so far it was well worth it. Okay, kids, no time to rest, Kakashi announced as he appeared on the stool beside his students. He was met with a series of groans as the kids shoved ramen into their faces. He gave them a fond look as they practically inhaled the food. He supposed months in the forest, cooking on a campfire, and then eating pretty much nothing but fish and wave, and then starved for real food. Even ramen made that cut now. I'll be gracious and let you finish your ramen, Kakashi said in a saintly tone.
If you were trying to get between us, I would have eaten whatever body part appeared in the way,
Naruto declared around a mouthful of broth.
Ew!
Sakura muttered.
You don't know where his body parts have been, Naruto. Actually, wait, you do. That makes it worse.
You'd get indigestion.
Sasuke snorted. What? No respect! Kakashi lamented to the chef and the girl, who both were watching with amusement. They didn't even ask what he wanted, just slid him a bowl. He wondered how good the man's memory was if he could remember what Kakashi had always ordered when Minato brought him in. Kakashi let peace reign as everyone ate, reveling in the warm, salty goodness. Okay, as I was saying, we have no time to rest, Kakashi announced. We only have 3 weeks about...
What? Why only 3 weeks?
Sakura asked with narrowed eyes.
What's in 3 weeks?
It's a secret, Kakashi grinned. Needless to say, we must prepare. What is Team 7's motto?
The serious one or the silly ones?
Naruto asked. All our mottos are serious, Kakashi gasped.
If that was true, we'd have like 100.
Naruto rolled his eyes.
Music is free therapy. Never use lightning attacks on water. Always have at least 5 weapons on hand. Always smile because it confuses your enemies. There is no such thing as overprepared, only underprepared. Always...
The last one, Kakashi said decisively. And none of those are silly. Anyways, better to be overprepared. So we need to work out a schedule. I will give you the rest of tonight off. How nice of you, Sasuke said dryly, seeing how it's so early at 7 p.m. But we start bright and early, Kakashi continued, unfazed. I'll teach you how to write succinct mission reports and how to give mission debriefs if ever needed to do it in person. We need to restock on supplies after that, then training. I want to polish up all your taijutsu more, and I'm working on finding tutors for your weapon training. After that, we need to make sure you all have your ninjutsu mastered in the next few weeks. No new ones. We need to focus on what you have. Remember, jack of all trades, but master of none is still better than a master of one, his kids chorused. Good. So these 3 weeks are going to be less new stuff and more polishing of all the skills I've been teaching you. This is going to require patience, he said with a pointed look at Naruto, who squirmed. It will be boring at times, but it is needed. We also need to finish some D-rank missions. So, tomorrow, 9 a.m., Naruto's place.
Well, why my place?
Naruto squawked. Because it's closest between all of our places. And that means you can get a few minutes of extra sleep.
What? Why does he get the extra sleep?
Sakura blurted out. Because he's paying for dinner, Kakashi said. See you tomorrow. He vanished in time to miss Naruto's scream. He wondered if Sakura and Sasuke would follow his example or stay and split the bill. They would learn in time. Kakashi gave his students a nod when they all handed their mission reports, politely and calmly. Even Naruto managed to keep his voice a reasonable level. The Chunin working the desk, accepting the scrolls, raised a surprised eyebrow. He peeked in one of the scrolls and turned an incredulous look on Kakashi, as if he couldn't believe he could actually read the handwriting. Kakashi honestly liked to make it hard for them with bad handwriting and half of it in code, but his students needed to be able to do it right before they could have fun with it. Now what? Kakashi asked his students patiently.
Team 7 requesting some D-ranks,
Sakura said, chin raised and tone even. The desk Chunin raised a brow at her but offered a smile and pulled a few forms from his desk. There was a request for weeding, a fence painting, walking the Inuzuka dogs, finding Tora, doing a grocery run for the orphanage, helping run some games at the senior center, and cleaning up the South City Park. The Chunin said, shuffling the papers. Since you are the first ones here today, you get first pick.
We'll take them.
Sasuke nodded for the team, sharp and brisk. Naruto reached out and plucked the forms from the stunned-looking Chunin.
All of them?
He blinked.
Yep. Thanks.
Naruto beamed. And then they followed one of his lessons to heart and ducked out the door before anyone could gather their wits and argue.
Attack plan?
Kakashi asked.
Grocery run while the markets are quiet, then the weeding and painting while it's not too hot out.
Sakura said immediately, gathering the forms from Naruto to look at addresses in detail.
And then we will need to do the center since it's time sensitive. Then we can do the dogs and look for Tora at the same time since there is no detail beyond wander about with the dogs. And then we can end it with the park in the cool of the evening.
Good, let's go then, Kakashi said cheerfully. They all nodded, determined. He knew they would have thrown a fit if he hadn't explained the purpose of D-ranks was to give back to the village, work on teamwork, learning how to work with civilians, and so on. If he also hadn't warned them of how dull the missions could be, they might have groaned and whined. As it was, they understood the purpose of them now. Plus, he had told them all the other Ghanaian teams had at least 40 D-ranks done each, and that on paper, Team 7 looked to be failing.
That had lit a fire under their feet.